All right, so due to some technical difficulties, you won't have my face in these next two videos, 8 and 9, but we're still going to walk our way through it. So let's dive in 2 Corinthians 8. We want you to know, brothers, about the grace of God that has been given to us among the churches in Macedonia. Okay, so another region here of the ancient world. So we want you to know, brothers, talking again to the Corinthian church. For in a severe test of affliction, their abundance of joy and their extreme poverty have overflowed in a wealth of generosity. This is interesting here, right? These two ideas, joy and extreme poverty. All right, we got these opposites, but what do these opposites create? Generosity on their part, for they gave according to their means. So what they had, as I can testify. So Paul's saying, hey, this is me. And beyond their means of their own accord. So they gave according to their means, but also beyond what they had of their own accord. This will be important when we get to the next chapter. Begging us earnestly for the favor of taking part in the relief of the saints. So something's going on where they want to help out, and they want to be in relief of the saints of the church. And this, not as we expected, but they gave themselves first to the Lord, and then by the will of God to us. So all of this here, right, about the generosity of Macedonia can be summed up here in verse 8. Not as we expected, but first to the Lord, and then by the will of God to us. So they're giving first to the Lord, and then to us. So those who are in need, Paul and the apostles and the saints. Accordingly, we urge Titus that as he had started, so he should complete among you this act of grace. Now I want to come back to this. I want to look this up. What is Titus started and completing? Now it's somewhere along here with this generosity, but I'm wondering if some of my commentaries can give a little bit more in-depth look as to what's going on with Titus. So I just want to come back to that. But as you excel in everything, in faith, in speech, in knowledge, in all earnestness, and in our love for you, see that you excel in this act of grace also. So Paul's saying, listen, as you have all these things, excel also in this act of grace. So this act of grace is their generosity. So he's saying, don't leave it to the side. Just like faith, knowledge, speaking, as you excel in those things, so too excel in generosity. I say this not as a command, but to prove by the earnestness of others that your love is genuine. Okay, so Paul's not saying, hey, do this. You have to do this. But he's saying, listen, use this as a way to show people that your love is genuine and that you're earnest, right? So he's saying, listen, I just want people to know who you are as I know who you are. For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. This is important. Why are you doing this? You know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor, so that you by his poverty might become rich. We're going to bust out the yellow here. So what was he? Rich. What did he become? For your sake, he becomes poor. And in fact, I'm going to bust a purple out here. For that you, by his poverty, might become rich. This is what I'm going to call a hinge verse. So everything hinges on this verse. As Paul talks about generosity and looks at this, everything hinges here on what Christ has done. He was rich. He, the Son of God sitting on high, becomes poor, becomes human for you. And by his poverty, his death and resurrection, all right? So this poverty here, right? That's going to be Jesus' death for you. And where does that for you come in? That you might become rich. And in this matter, I give my judgment that this benefits you, who a year ago started not only to do this work, but also desire to do it. So here he's saying, listen, you wanted to be generous and you had desire to do it. So now finish doing it well, so that your readiness and desiring it may be matched by your completing it out of what you have. For if the readiness is there, it is acceptable according to what a person has, not according to what he does not have. All right? So here in verse 12, it is acceptable according to what a person has, not according to what he does not have. You have it, so give it. For I do not mean that others should be eased and you burdened, but that as a matter of fairness, your abundance at the present time should supply their need. All right, so Paul's looking here saying, you have it. Give it to those who are in need, so that their abundance may supply your need, that there may be fairness, as it is written, whoever gathered much had nothing left over, and whoever gathered little had no lack. So what Paul's looking and saying here is he's going, listen, why does this make sense? Because of the generosity of the saints to each other. But thanks be to God, who put into the heart of Titus the same earnest care I have for you. For he not only accepted our appeal, but being himself very earnest, he is going to you of his own accord. With him we are sending the brother who is famous among all the churches for his preaching of the gospel. I want to come and dig a little bit into this. Why is Titus being sent, and who is this brother? Not only that, but he has been appointed to the churches to travel with us as we carry out the act of grace that is being ministered by us, for the glory of the Lord himself, and to show our goodwill. We take this course so that no one should blame us about this generous gift that is being administered by us. So, Paul here is saying, listen, we're going to give this gift, and we take this course. We don't want anyone to blame us about this generous gift that is being administered. So we're just administering it. We're just giving it away. Don't blame us of who's getting it and who's not. For we aim at what is honorable, not only in the Lord's sight, but also in the sight of man. And with them, we are sending our brother, whom we have often tested and found earnest in many matters. So here they're saying, listen, we're going to send somebody who's going to do this the right way. They're going to handle the money and the gift the right way. But who is now more earnest than ever because of his great confidence in you. As for Titus, he is my partner and fellow worker for your benefit. And as for your brothers, they are messengers of the churches, the glory of Christ. So give proof before these churches of your love and your boasting, of our love. Give proof before the churches of your love and of our boasting about you to these men. So they're saying, hey, listen, show us we're right as we boast about you. So this whole chapter is about this gift that the Corinthians promised.